So let's just give it 5 minutes so that more people can join the class, and then we are actually going to be on our way. And just like I said, welcome to today's class. And, it's nice to have all of you here. So 5 more minutes, and then we will definitely be getting started. Okay. Um, Good morning once again for those of you joining us. Good morning and welcome to today's MMR class. Like I said earlier, my name is Anita and I'm going to be your analyst for today. So for us to actually get started, I would like to say let us open our Bibles to forexfactory.com. So if you see my screen right now, I am sharing it. I would like to always say that as a trader, you have to always, before you go into, your analysis, whether it be technicals or anything, you want to look at what you have affecting the market for today. So I hope everyone can hear me and everyone can see my screen. So if you can see my screen, please a thumbs up so that we can get started. Like I said, the market is really, really interesting today. And, that we have a lot of news coming out from a lot of zones today, and we want to see how we can take advantage of them, before they actually start to, before the news is actually being released. So if you can see my screen, please confirm that, okay? Uh-huh. So at least I know one person can see my screen, so I like to believe that it is actually visible to everyone. So we can see that as early as 9:15 a.m. this morning, we're going to be having in this fundamentals from the Eurozone, that is the French flash manufacturing PMI. We're also going to be having French flash service PMI, German flash manufacturing PMI, German flash service PMI, and that is, coming out by 9:15 a.m. Now, one thing about when it comes to, this PMI news, if you see it right here where we have, the forecast is 42.5. Now, one thing I've been able to notice about this particular news is that when it comes out, somewhere around 50 and above, we would see really great volatility. Because if you notice, most of the time, it's not every time you have an high impact news that you see that massive volatility. But, this is also the beginning of the year. Investors are looking out for this major news to know, okay, where am I pitching my tent? Where am I going to make my money from? So when you see a news coming out, especially at this time of year, you want to pay attention to it. By 10 a.m., they're also going to be having, a medium impact news. And just like I would always say that, this particular market is a market that um is actually moves with economy. So you want to be able to understand when there is a change. You don't forget that as economy is happening, the market is reacting. That is whether increase in interest rate or anything. So somewhere along the year, somewhere along the line, there was a time medium impact news would not move the market. But right now, medium impact news is doing just as much as high impact news. So you would not want to say, okay, as long as it's not a high impact news, let me just be on the trade. Remember, one thing this Forex factory would help you to do would know just how long you should be on the trade, depending on the time a fundamental is going to be out. So you cannot always ignore your fundamentals. And this is literally the trader's Bible. So you always want to pay attention. So you have to always check it every single day. Moving to 10:30 a.m., we're going to be having from the Great Britain pound, the flash manufacturing PMI, almost the same news we're having from the Eurozone, and we'll be expecting that. So you trade Euro USD, GBP USD, GBP JPY, Euro JPY. You have to pay attention to this. And then moving from to 3:45 p.m., we're going to be looking at the card. We're going to be having the Bank of Canada Monetary Policy Report. We're going to be having their rate statement, overnight rate, so you're trading your USD CAD, you're trading oil as well, because you know that this particular currency is a currency that is being backed up by oil. So once you have, and they have a similar correlation, good for the Canadian dollar, good for oil as well. You also want to pay attention to that. And also from the USD zone, we already know that this is a market that is quoted in dollars. So irrespective of what you trade on the market, whether you're trading currency, you're trading commodities, you're trading indices, you're trading agro commodities, you want to know what is happening with your dollar, because we already know that the market is quoted in dollar. And that is why most times when you see a fundamental coming from the dollar, it's like it affects it shakes almost everything. So you cannot say, oh, I trade EUR so no, I'm not going to, pay attention to the dollar. Most of the time, you want to know what is going on with the dollar, because that is going to help you to know where to pitch your tent. So by 3:45 p.m. today, we're going to be having the flash sales PMI, almost what we have, from the Eurozone and also the GBP zone. And also we're going to be having flash sales PMI, and also by 4:30, that is the Bank of Canada press conference, and then also crude oil inventories. We've seen that there was a time that this crude oil inventories used to be a high impact news, but now it's actually a low impact news. So you can see that we have a lot of fundamentals that are going to actually be moving the markets today. So irrespective of what you trade, or based on what you trade, you want to be able to know what time the news which will be affecting what you trade is going to be coming out, so that you know how to pitch your tent, know how long you should be on the market. Because for me, I'd always advise, before the news comes out, please try to be out of the market. So when you're setting your take profit, or you're taking a trade, please put all this into consideration based on what you trade. So now we're going to be looking at the chart. Going to be looking at the charts. That is what we actually what we should be expecting today. So for me personally, before anything else, like I would always say, I always look at my USD IDX. That is my United States index. Just like we already have established that the dollar is a very important currency when it comes to this market, as this particular currency is being compared to most of this baskets of instruments. So definitely yesterday, I was on my way home, and I was talking to a colleague of mine, and he was on a trade on Euro USD, and he said, Anita, I don't know what is going on with the dollar. I don't know what is pushing the dollar. But if you're able to remember that as of last year, we've been able to establish a fact that the dollar is still going to, push back up. We saw a fall in the dollar last year, which was, based on they were looking at cutting down interest rates. We know that over for the past 2 years, the world has been, battling inflation, and the USD has actually made the interest rate their own, way of reducing interest rates. But you also know that there is only to an extent to which you can increase your interest rates. So interest rates at this point for the USD have gotten to an overall high. And you know that when you increase interest rate to a certain point, definitely that economy is going to go into recession. So last year, I think in December, in fact, starting from November, we've been expecting them to increase interest rates. We were been expecting them to increase interest rates. We were expecting them like 2 times before the end of the year, but they were able to do that only once. And, that was because they also had to, protect the economy. And as such as that, we're also expecting a cut in interest rates, but we saw them leave it at that part. They made it unchanged till the end of the year, which, cost this particular, the USDIDX, that is the United States dollars, to actually do major sales last year. But definitely, like we already know that the dollar is a world currency. It is world power. So irrespective of, how many times it wants to sell, it would always come back to push its way back up. So we saw a retracement. And honestly, I was actually surprised that without much news, the dollar was actually doing so well. So if you look at your USD IDX chart, you can see that from yesterday, starting from my verified support, the dollar was really strong. The dollar was really strong, but then it got to my weak resistance and actually, started to do a bit of retracement. But irrespective of how many retracements it's going to do, I still see my dollar being strong. I mean, compared to every other instrument, I think the dollar still have a very, very good listen. And then of course, we're expecting that the USD should be cutting interest rates. That is, the fact that it is the highest. And, even from last year, there was already speculations that by March this year, 2024, they were actually going to reduce their interest rates. But then again, they came back giving us sentiment, letting us know that, what, this particular interest rate might remain higher for longer. So the dollar actually climbed to a 6-week peak against the basket of currencies. That was yesterday, as investors resumed buying this particular currency after a brief respite. And on continuous expectations, the Federal Reserve would be in no rush to cut interest rates, given a still stable US economy. So definitely, we can actually see that this particular instrument have actually done a bit of retracement. But just like you already know that this particular market, you always want to be able to establish your trend. You want to be able to establish trend when it comes to this particular market. And if it's one thing, like I said, I still expect this particular instrument to still go on a buy. So this particular retracement, that is this sales that we actually are seeing right now on the dollar, I still feel, like I said, it's just a retrace. You could see that if you look at this particular chart from this particular area, down to here, it has actually done a 50% retracement, which I would expect it at this point, it would be getting ready to actually go back into a buy. But just for this, we want to take a trade. I would rather take, it has actually broken my contour line here, which can also push for a further sell. So for me this morning on this particular instrument, I will take an instant sell from here and maybe follow it down to this particular region where I have my 61.8, that is 103.082. And from there, I'll expect the market to do a buy from there. Let me look at it on a smaller time frame so that, okay, good. You can see that it's actually more of a free fall. So for this, I think we have a support right here. We have a support right here. Good. So I will just take it from this point down to where I have my support. And if I do not want to risk so much based on your account size and maybe your risk appetite, just below this candle where we have the lowest candle right here, I'll take my sell down to that particular area and I would wait for the market to start up or buy. Don't forget that is also going to be a fundamental on this particular instrument later today by 3:45. So I will take myself, this is my 30-minute time frame. I'm going to take myself right now, or yes, I will, and then follow it down to where I have the lowest candle of this particular at this particular region, because you could see that the last time it tested this particular place is a while. So just follow it to the lowest candle and then a retracement would pick up from there. So that being said, I want to take a look at USD JPY. Now, we could see that if there's one thing, as the world is saying, everything is getting expensive, or the JPY zone isn't really saying the same thing. And that is because that one thing they've been able to gain ground on is the fact that they are a manufacturing economy. So even when the world is screaming about, oh, this thing is expensive, they're actually suffering deflation. I would not use the word suffering, but things are way cheaper over there. And just like we already know that one way to be able to battle inflation is increasing interest rates, the Japanese, that is the JPY, isn't doing as much. I mean, we had the news coming out from them yesterday, and they were able to tell us that, we don't look at increasing interest rate though. That was yesterday, because everything looks great. The economy is working, and so if you actually look at this particular instrument starting from yesterday, we first saw a sell on the USD JPY, meaning that the dollar was weak. But one thing the Japanese yen were able to do yesterday was, because I felt the fact that they already knew before the news came out that, we're still going to have a dovish stance about this. One thing we're going to do is, don't forget that this market is also it's demand and supply. So the first thing they did was to sell the dollar on an open market, which actually gave strength to the JPY. So we could see this sell that happened earlier yesterday morning. That was earlier in the morning. Which actually went forward to, when they actually started to sell dollar on an open market, it gave the strength to the Japanese yen, which, we saw this particular sell that happened, which was good for the yen. But then, of course, once they dropped their, the news yesterday in the morning saying that, we're still going to still just leave our interest rate the way it is, we saw the dollar picked up as well. And now, based on what is happening within the dollar, that is the retracement, we're seeing that happen. Don't forget, this is USD JPY, your base currency, your quote currency. And you see, just like the USD has been able to break the contour line, this instrument has actually done the same. So particularly, if for me, I was telling a client yesterday that, one thing I enjoy about this particular market is that it's direct. The USD JPY is almost, if you check, this instrument has been on an uptrend for a while because of just how this particular the JPY are not always in a hurry to increase their interest. They are not always in a hurry to increase their interest rate. So for me today, I will still be expecting a sell for no, I'll be expecting the buy, sorry, because I'm still expecting the dollar to actually gain strength based on the fact that they are not increasing interest rate, and the dollar is still remaining very, very strong. And the dollar has been able to keep some of this currency in a tight range because it keeps going up. Markets, they are saying we're not reducing interest rates anytime soon. And then we actually saw the Bank of Japan governor come out yesterday and actually offer more signals on the potential end of the bank ultra dovish policy. So, this morning we also had news saying that, okay, what, we might actually be looking at increasing interest rate. because at the end of the day, it has gotten to a point whereby the yen is actually, compared to other instruments, when you compare it about against the dollar, the yen is actually, going is actually really, really low. So he came out to say, what, we might actually be coming to an end of the bank ultra dovish policy. But he actually gave no clear cues on when the Bank of Japan would actually starts to do this. But if there's also one thing that would also that also drives the market is sentiment. And this particular sentiment that is actually happening right now, you see that is what has also given this particular sell on the USD JPY. So you can see that my price right here is around it has broken this contour line, and I want to see if it's going to be able to, this particular candle is able to break below, that is close below this line, or if it's going to do a retracement. So for that, myself for this particular instrument would be right here below my 38.2 fib level, and I would take a buy just above here. But let's be safer. I'll take it about my 61.8. Yes. Once price is able to break to 147.614, I will take a further sell and follow it down to my 23.6. But if this particular candle retraces back and closes above this particular line, I will take my buy when it gets to 1.8.178 and then follow it. So you can see that price has always bounced back to this area and then bounced back. So you see that this is also, if this is a very good verified resistance, so your take profit should actually be before then. But honestly, I still see the dollar remaining strong, and I still see that this instrument is actually going to do more of a buy in the long run. So now let us look at gold. Now, gold has been a very interesting instrument since last year. We always said one thing, that gold and dollar has a negative correlation. That is, when the dollar is doing good, you see the gold doing bad. When the dollar is doing bad, you see the gold doing good. But last year, we've been able to see that gold has been able to establish a mind of its own. That is, most times you see that the gold is just moving on its own. Like, it doesn't have to wait for the dollar to do um it doesn't wait for the dollar to do its thing before it actually reacts. But then we can see that gold is literally following that this morning, as we've seen that our dollar, is on the sell, and we can see that gold is on the buy. So this is actually very, so definitely looking at the way it's going with a very good lot size, I'm able to take an instant buy on gold, follow it to my weak resistance. However, if maybe I want to wait and be safe, I'll wait for it to break here. That is a buy at 2031.66. You see that earlier this year, with the strength happening in dollar, we saw gold do major retracement. We saw gold get to its highest point last year when, we had the Israel and Hamas war going on. I mean, we saw the way that gold investors actually started diving into gold because the dollar had its own problems. That the US is actually alliance with Israel and also with Ukraine, so they had two wars going on that they had to support, and it was more like they needed more money. And we actually saw the US dollar do some crazy things last year, with the fact that they're owing Ukraine about 22 million to support the war. They also need to support Israel, and they also had a time where they said, what, if we don't have money from now until Monday, the economy is going to shut down. So all of that was just a mix in the investors' minds that, okay, you're supporting Israel with war, which means you need to give them money to buy more, um war gadgets. You're also supporting Ukraine. Ukraine has, Russia has done its thing on Ukraine. Ukraine needs a whole lot of recovery. And now you're saying that if you're not able to get money in 48 hours, the economy is literally going to shut down. So what are you saying? So we saw investors literally divest most of their, portfolios to gold. But then there again in gold, we actually saw a bit of issues whereby, we saw some of the depots of gold being attacked. So, that also, last year was a bit of a tricky one with investors. So definitely we saw gold do major retracements, but it has been able to fall down to $2,000 per ounce, and it has actually remained in this particular range. We could see it here at 2001.61, and for the past how many days or weeks, it has been between this point and this particular point. So for me, for gold this morning, I would easily take a buy right now, follow it to my weak resistance. And if it doesn't break above my weak resistance, like you could either take a sell limit, or you can also take or you could actually just take an instant sell when you see that a retracement is going to happen. You can see that it has actually done this here, like that. So it's more like a pattern. So you could actually just do that, and then also just respect. You can see that this particular contour line, market price has been able to respect it. It came here, it went back up, it came here too. So you can see that it has not broken this particular contour line for a while. So a buy would go down to my weak resistance and then follow it down just at this point. And then, like I said, don't forget we have a news by 3:45 p.m. today. So now looking at US 100. Now this is actually this is actually my most favorite market. Like my colleague would always say, or they would always say, he actually said last year that if you have money, put it on US 100, take a buy, and you take your profit at the end of the year. I mean, he's even saying the same thing right now in this year. He said, and if you have the money, put it on, take a buy on US 100. But let's not forget that the retracement on this particular instrument are also very massive. But then looking at what I have on the screen, you don't need anybody to tell you that this particular instrument is on an uptrend. You can see that the candles may be little, it might be little, but you can see that it keeps moving up. And that is why are we speaking about the US 100? The US 100 we know is AI stock. And we know that the world is embracing AI. We saw Samsung last week release a Galaxy S24, or like it's actually one of the most beautiful phones I've actually ever seen. And I mean, they're selling it as at $1,300. That's about 1.3 million naira speaking right now. It's actually very interesting because this is the first AI phone that we are having. This is a phone that you can do an edit that a professional photographer would do in just one touch. This is a phone that you call somebody in China right now. You don't need to know how to speak Chinese. The phone is going to do the translation for you. So as you're saying, hello, my name is, the person is hearing it in Chinese. And as the person is responding to you in Chinese, you're hearing it in English. And this has actually caused every other phone manufacturer to go to China. In fact, they all want the same thing that Samsung has been able to do. They want to be able to make their phones AI savvy at this particular point. And this is a beautiful time for stocks, because we always say, I said somewhere last year, we say tech is here to start, but right now tech has started. So at this particular point, you already know that one thing that we're going to see on this market, yes, it would have a retracement, but I still expect this market to do a very good buy from now until when we know maybe government will start to put regulations on AIs, because AIs, so AIs are doing so well. So AIs are doing so well right now that, these stocks, it is actually very good. And we already see that this particular instrument has gone to the highest high it has ever been. And, this is making people a little bit skeptical, because at this point, you definitely know that when this market does a lot of buy, or when market naturally does buys, we're expecting retracement. In fact, yesterday I was expecting to see some major retracement on this particular instrument, but it has proven that, what, I'm still on my way up. But you can see that it has broken the Tonkot resistance and is currently on my 0.0 retracement fee. Now, this is actually a very easy market. Once it's able to break this particular 0.0 retracement fee, once it's able to break it, you can see that market is currently testing it. But once it breaks above it, a buy is literally going to continue. However, if it's going to retrace at this point in time, you might expect it to retrace from here down to your Tonkot support. But I would advise that we wait for price to break below the Tonkot resistance. before we continue a sell down to the verified support. Don't forget, just like I would always say, that this particular market is a respecter of support and resistance. That is, when it doesn't have a news to break it, you would see that price would always range between a support and resistance. You can see it happen here. It has been between the stone cold resistance. It's been here. It has respected this particular area. And so if price breaks this, my 0.0 fib level, I'll take my buy and continue. But definitely, like I said, I still expect these instruments to do a bit of retracement before you actually, continue on this buy, because wow, it has done some really major buys. However, for me to take that sell, I will be more comfortable when price breaks my stone cold resistance. I'll follow it down to I'll follow it down to my verified support, and then I would and once it breaks my verified support, then I would actually follow it down. But for this morning, we can see that price is ranging, and definitely my T price maybe stay on this particular area till maybe 3:30. That is when New York session is going to open, and then we might get in about 3:45. That's like 50%. I have a news coming from the USD zone, which I'm expecting to do some major push for this instrument as well. So just like I said, just like I would say, this tech has started. So you have to don't forget, when it comes to these instruments, yes, it makes you money. You don't have the capital for it. Please just, top up your accounts, or try to trade other things, because the market is actually very volatile. So now let's take a look at Euro USD. So the one thing about this particular Euro US is that its movement right now is based on what the dollar is doing. Don't forget that the wars that are going on right now, yes, we might not be talking about it as intensely as when it started, but these things are still happening. And this particular wars has actually made the Eurozone lose a lot of investors last year. Like, definitely, even you as a person, you would not go and start a business where there is war going on. I know that a lot of companies right now in Nigeria not go to the north and open their business there, because everything that is going on, you don't want to wake up one morning and realize that all your investment, all your businesses have actually been blown up by one thing or another. So what is literally moving this instrument right now is just based. So even the buys we see on the Euro USD is when the dollar is weak. So we could see that if you remember, we checked the USD IDX and we saw that the dollar is basically doing a retracement, and we could see that has actually given strength to this particular instrument. So let's see where we can take our entry points. Don't forget that by 9 a.m. this morning, we're having news coming out from the Eurozone. And I like to believe that this particular this is going to give strength. It's going to give either strength or weakness to this particular instrument. So for me this morning, I would take an instance buy for my Euro USD and follow it down to this particular level, to my 61.0. Like I said, don't forget that we have a news coming out in some minutes time. So like I said, one thing fundamentals will help you to do is to know when, like for instance, this morning you want to take a trade, instead of you to just come to your chat, jump into trades, and you don't even, but now you know that, okay, the time is 8:33 and I have a news coming out somewhere around 9:15. What do I need to do? All I need to do is, okay, if I'm taking a buy, if I'm taking a sell, at least by this point, I should be out of the market. Use a good lot size. It's going to help as much. So for me this morning, I'll take an instant buy on my Euro US, use a good lot size, follow it up a bit, but I'll try to be out of market at this particular range. Maybe take my profits. Let me see. Yes, I'll take my take profit right here. And if the market is going to do a retracement that it's going to sell, I would wait for it to break below this line right here, and I'll take my sell, just respecting the lowest candle of today, and I'll be out of the market. Like I said, we have a news from the Eurozone in a couple of minutes, so you don't want to take some major risk and so I think we've been able to look at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 instruments. Now, I have a very interesting person that is coming to, take the rest of it. So, of course, he's actually been my main person that was the baby. He's actually my like when he tells me buy, I don't argue. When he tells me sell, I don't argue. So let's get our money ready and make some money this morning. Thank you very much. And it was lovely having you guys.
Your machine. Never withdraw. Let's go follow me now.
Hello, good morning, everybody. Welcome. Thank you very much for joining this morning's morning market review. I believe you've all had a very, very good time so far, and we're ready to make more money. All right, then. So please ensure you have your accounts funded appropriately and you're ready to go. Please note that do not just come here and just listen and just look at it without actually taking the opportunity because hey, that's why we are here now. That's why we are here. All right, so I'm going to go straight into it and share my screen. Okay. All right then. I believe everyone can see my screen. Can we all see my screen? All right. Awesome. Thank you very much. Okay, so let's get straight into it. We're going to be looking at oil. Let's go straight to oil this morning and see what it's doing. We're going to be looking at oil on the larger scale, also on the daily time frame as well, and also to see how intraday traders will be able to trade this instrument and profitable this morning. All right, so first of all, you want to actually look at the currency, or rather, the instrument on the larger time frame and see the current trend. Can everybody hear me? All right, so let me go ahead to put this. So sorry, having some minor technical glitches. Awesome. So you can see that oil is actually looking at bouncing off this region. All right, so on a daily time frame for our swing traders. Now, if you want to be a swing trader, you need to have good funds in your trading account. All right, you need to have good funds in your trading account to be able to swing trade. Now we can see that this guy is actually around a verified resistance, and is most likely going to try to pull back. All right, so for me, for this one, for our swing traders, let's also look at 24-hour time frame. You can see that price is also getting into this region. So let's mark this region. Just going to go ahead to do this. Okay. So let me change the color of this. This would be our risk region where we can enter our sales from. Yes, because I believe that price is most likely going to come push up into this region and start to sell downwards for oil this morning. All right. So yes, a million five, 2 million, anything above a million is good enough to swing to try to swing trade. All right. However, you also need to be very cautious with the lot size you use. Okay, so for our swing traders, you can enter these regions for our sell, yes, for our sell, because we believe price to be able to break below this region. All right, you can sell in these regions for our sales between price rate levels 80.00 and 80.96, 80.00 and 80.96. You can write that all the way down here as your take profit zone. Once you enter that region, this will be our profit zone. Okay, so feel free to start taking your profits at those regions as well. All right, don't be afraid. Okay, so now also note that you can decide to use the top of the squared region as your stop loss. If price you enter a sell from this region and price goes above here, please feel free to consider that as a stop loss. All right, but for oil, for our swing traders, if you have good funds in your trading account, you can go in for this and just let it ride. All right, let it ride. And our take profit region is between 79.28 and 77.96. All right, so between 79.28 and 77.96. Those are regions for our take profit on oil. All right, believe we've gotten those entries. I could go ahead to move on now. Let's look at it on the hourly time frame for our swing intraday traders. So let's see what we can make for ourselves this morning. This very, very beautiful morning. All right, then. So let's look at it on the hourly time frame. We can see that my golden cross is about to be established here, and price has bounced off this untested support and it's pushing all the way up. All right, so if you want to get this indicator, yeah, it shows you can see that an alert popped up, the arrows indicating that the price is actually looking at going up once my golden cross is set. If you want to learn strategy, talk to your account manager. If you want to get these indicators and templates, so you can actually know how to benefit from this. So yes, I'm going to be taking myself this region. Let me look at it on a 30 minutes time frame and 15 minutes time frame as well. Why I'm doing this is because sometimes you want to actually use the shorter period time frames to actually get clear entries. So for me this morning, you can see the golden cross has already been established in 15 minutes with this indication. So I'm going to be going for a buy on oil this morning. So once price is able to enter this region, let's look at it again on the 1 hour time frame. Beautiful. So it all has to conform. So let's go in for a buy. This is our region. All right. Once price is able to enter this region, between price levels 80, 79.6, 79.96 and 80.36. Again, 79.96 and 80.36. You can go in for your buy and take your profit around that region as well. All right. So you have nothing to worry about, nothing to fear. So, but please remember to trade cautiously, use proper risk management. Okay, I believe you're back. All right, so I'm going to be giving a buy preference for oil this morning between 79.96 and 80.32. All right. Alternatively, well, most likely I'm just going to be sticking my neck out for a buy, but let's also see case price goes on the downside. Now I want to wait for it to break below this moving averages because they act as dynamic support and resistance. All right. So, but my preference for this one is a buy because I've gotten an indication here and I want to enter at this region. However, there's still a chance that you can still make good money from a sell. So, fast sell option, let's go in at 79.44 and 78.81. All right, 79.44 and 78.81. However, note my preference for this morning is buy. All right, can everybody hear me clearly? Awesome. All right, then. So I believe we've gotten that. Let's go on to the next instrument. Okay, let's look at US 2000. US 2000. Now, if you do not have enough funds in your trading account, you want to be very cautious with this guy because it can be very, very delicious. At the same time, well, so yes, let's be very cautious with this and ensure that we have good funds in your trading account this morning. See, you can hear. I don't know if you can hear, but yeah, I see my alert already. This is looking up for a buy. For me, I would actually say an instant buy, right? But let's look at it on it has broken all the supports, rather resistance regions as well. Okay, so for me, a buy is in order. You can go for an instant buy, or if you want to be cautious. Let's wait for it to enter these regions because of this rejection that it's at Iceman. Let me look at 25 minutes time frame to see if there's anything holding it. There's nothing holding it back. There's nothing holding it back. So, okay. Exactly. It's broken that as well. So ladies and gentlemen, we can go in for our buy. For our scalpers as well, this is also for you. Don't dull. This is also for you. You can enter multiple times as you want. Once you're able to get into this region, you can enter multiple times as you want. If you want to learn more about scalping, subscribe, like, share, follow my YouTube channel, and watch those videos there. All right. So feel free to go in for your buys once price is able to go into the regions 2004.33 and 2014.9. All right. So yes, what's it called? The EMA cross strategy. Speak to account manager to get it. Okay, for our scalpers too, once you're able to enter that region, you can start scalping. You can start scalping. Yes, this is on the 15 minutes. Let's go to 5 minutes for our scalpers again. Let me show you something again. If price is able to get to this top of 20.14, you can also scalp downwards as well. All right, you can also scalp downwards as well. So let's go in for our buy. Once price is able to enter the regions 2004.3 and 2014.9. All right, so if you want to learn some more strategies and general trading, forex, and education, please feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channels. Follow, like, share, and can leave any comment you would like. Okay, so I believe that is good for me. I'm just going to give you a buy preference for the US 2000 this morning because I'm very convinced that it's most likely going to buy all the way to this region. At least, do we have any news coming out by 3:45? So I already understand that most times the indices tend to conform to technical analysis unless there's a news actually pushing it. So I expect it to buy up the way to that region. All right. So all right then. So let's go now to the SDCHF. One of my favorite instruments to trade. Yes, CHF is very straightforward. Well, from my own opinion, anyways. If it's going up, it's going up. If it's coming down, it's coming down. You can see it don't like gra too much gra. He just likes to do his own thing. So yes, it's almost always very easy to analyze. You can see it right now on the 1 hour time frame. This guy is coming down. So yes. My indicator has shown me that it's a downward movement. I'm going to go in for a sell. Left to me, an instant sell is good enough. However, just to be cautious as well, we can wait for price to actually come into these regions. Let me look at it on 15 minutes time frame as well. Okay. However, you can see there's a bit of a pullback, but this is a very strong bearish movement. Let me see it on the 5 minutes as well. So you can see why I say this guy it's very easy to understand. Don't get wahala for life. So yes, here's the CHF. Now, please know, for you to be able to trade these guys conveniently and make good money for yourself, you need to use bigger lot sizes. If you have good funds, in fact, a standard lot is good enough. Remember, they are currencies, so you need to use good lot sizes to make good money for yourself. Now, two things. You can wait because you can see that. Let me look at it on 1 minute time frame. Yes, scalpers in the house, you can actually guzzle this up as well. So two things involved here. You can see that it's trying to do a bit of a retracement, yeah. So I would say let's go in for a sell once price is able to retrace up to this region. Yeah. Now let's pay attention. I want to do something tricky here. So we can go in for a sell once price is able to enter into this region. All right. You can sell from here because I want to make as much money as we can. You can sell in from these regions. I'm going to be giving 2 entries. Right? You can sell from these regions once price enters 0. Hold on. 0.86796, 0.86796, 0.86796, and 0.86831, 0.86831. Yes, sell from that region downwards, all right, to make good money for yourself. And I'm going to give you a take profit zone as well. All right, I'm going to give you a take profit zone as well. Now, I'm doing this for some of my guys who want to be very cautious, and for our guys who straight out to the wind. So yes, 2 things, 2 entries and take profit regions as well. This is my second entry. Okay, I want us to milk this guy very well. Okay, now If you sell from this region will be your take profit region and your second entry. Do you understand? Hope you understand this. Please, if you understand, drop a yes on the chat. Drop a yes on the chat. Let me be sure we understand what I'm saying. All right. So once price is able to enter this region, all right, you can sell from this region. All right, sell from this region 0.86794 and 0.86831. You can sell from there, right? Yeah, so wait, this candle's coming back up. Wait for it to enter here. You can see that it's pushing up, right? We can see that it's pushing up. Wait for it to enter this region that I've marked, and then you start to sell from there. You take your sell entries from there. You can put a sell limit or instant sell from this region. 086794 and 086831. Sell from there. All right. Once you start selling from there, this region is your take profit. 0.86746 and 0.86683 is your take profit. All right. And after taking profit, you can enter from that region again down to the end. So you can decide to buy from here, rather sell from here downwards, or you can also decide to sell from here downwards. Either of these two, you make money. You can see that is already happening. So sell from this region, take your profit into here, close the first take profit, and you enter another sell all the way to this region. All right. Hope you have this cleared now. Sell from this region into this region, take your first profit, take another trade, sell from this region, and take your profit just before the end of this region. All right, so I believe that's very easy to understand, and it's clear as well. So I want us to make as much as possible from this sell this morning on USD CHF. All right, so with that, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to say thank you for joining in this morning. All right, remember we do this Mondays through Fridays, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. So to get any of these indicators and to learn the strategies, please speak to your account manager and they will get you to me. If you want to learn how to scalp, trade, strategies as well, so please feel free to follow, subscribe, like, and share my YouTube channel, which I've already posted there, to learn a whole lot more. Yes, and also please, this meeting is recorded. You can also follow and subscribe and like our Rally Trade YouTube channel, which will be dropped here. All right, please also remember to follow, join our Telegram channel as well to get information, and yes, our brand new WhatsApp channel. Please, whatever you do, if you don't join or subscribe to any of these I've said, ensure to join our WhatsApp channel. There's a lot of money being made there, trade hints being sent every single day, and money is being made. All right, so it's going to be dropped now, our YouTube channel, Telegram channel, and the WhatsApp channel as well. All right, so also for our newbies, we have our virtual training classes for now, Mondays and Tuesdays at 10 a.m. Also Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays at 6 p.m. All right, so please talk to your account manager, because we're having a series of events and seminars, also trainings coming up, so that you can come in to learn, become a partner of Rally Trade today. Yes, you can earn in USD. Remember, that's what we want to do right now. I want to earn in dollars. All right, so thank you very much for joining in today. And yes, also become a VIP client as well. Yes, you can actually earn a whole lot more as a VIP client. Strategies, indicators, softwares, everything and anything you actually need to trade this market successfully. All right, then. So I believe we are good to go. So thank you very much for joining. That's our WhatsApp channel right now. Please join in. All right, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Do have yourselves a profitable and peaceful day ahead. Peace.